I don't know if I have a philosophy of leadership. I think leaders are born. I am not so sure leaders are created per se. But I do think there are circumstances and situations in life that bring out the leadership in all of us. And the first and foremost quality is to care. I care. I care about my fellow human being. I care about solving the problem. So to me, the philosophy of leadership starts with caring. Leaderships, as I said earlier, they're born. They're not sort of created. You have that leadership quality in you. All of us do. The leadership, when it comes out, is because you are following perhaps others' examples, or you are trying very hard to solve a specific problem. I think in my life, there have been many people who have inspired me. I would say the first and foremost are my teachers. I went to school in the US. I did not go to school in Pakistan. And I was very fortunate. I was part of a gifted and accelerated sort of program. So I had some very unique teachers. And there were three things that my teachers taught me that I think were sort of the foundation of leadership. One is ask questions, think, and think critically. Two, try to come up with solutions. Don't just talk about the problem. You might see and identify a problem, but try to think of how you yourself can work towards solving that problem. And three is don't be afraid to speak up. Talk to people about what you are thinking. Ask for help. Leadership is not about me being the big person. Leadership is about me working with a lot of other people collaboratively to work together for that solution. So I think when we look at mentors, we often look at people who are much older than us. But I find that I am often inspired by people much younger than me, because age has nothing to do with knowledge. Somebody who is 20 years younger than me can also know more than me. And so we should be looking to learn from everybody around us. Everybody around us is a mentor. I think, people often think that being a leader means you have to have a fancy office, you have to be appointed in a position or something. But that's not true. Leadership starts from anywhere. It can start from your house, from your school, from your university. It really doesn't matter where. It's interesting because until today, I don't think I ever thought of myself as a leader. It's been very interesting to sort of hear other people calling you a leader. I think all I've been doing is trying to do the best I can again to solve the problem. And I find that there are many such accidental leaders. If you go into a community, you will find there's always one person who sort of, starts just doing things. And it is those people that are actually the leaders. The leaders are not the ones sitting in the fancy offices. Those are usually highly paid executives. But there is a difference between an executive and a leader. A leader in the community is the person who sees that the community is dirty and just starts gathering people together to clean it. That's a leader. A leader is somebody who in their university or in their school decides that actually, students should also have a voice in the management of the university, and so starts a student committee. Those are leaders. And they don't need anybody else to tell them what to do. They intrinsically start doing things. So, everybody always asks me, why do you have all these books? That are all over the place. These books have been my savior. When I feel like it just becomes too much, or I don't have all the answers, I'm completely stressed out, I don't know what to do, I find that books are my solace. The books lead me into another world. The books open up my mind. The books help me see other perspectives and other point of view. And they're really more like best friends. and they are actually the most beneficial stress relievers. Other people do all sorts of things. Some people watch TV, some people sort of listen to music or meditate or whatever. But for me, it's always been, I read a book. That has been my most important salvation and my most important stress reliever of all time. So it's interesting because when you're talking about a leader, people always say, oh, what leadership qualities does somebody need to have? And normally people say things like, oh, you must have self-confidence, you must have the ability to look at the big picture, you must have the ability to bring everybody together. But I think it goes beyond that. I think one of the critical aspects of leadership is trust. Leadership is a responsibility, it's a trust that is put in you. And therefore we must live up to that trust. We must develop within ourselves as leaders to hold ourselves accountable for our actions and to hold ourselves responsible for the things that we say and do. It's not enough to say I'm a leader and then perhaps lead people in the wrong direction. So it's a very, very heavy responsibility. And I think the first and foremost quality would be one of ethics and one of trustworthiness. When it comes to skills, the primary skill, I think the one thing that leaders are always doing is talking, writing, communication. The ability to communicate is very often underrated. We don't understand what communication means. We don't necessarily know how to explain our ideas or our thoughts. But good leaders not only are able to do that, but they are able to help other people also communicate, and they help other people also bring out their own ideas and their own thoughts. So the first and primary ability, I think, is communication. The ability to communicate with everybody else around you. My message for young and inspiring leaders is a very simple one. Take that first step. Start. Don't worry if you're a leader or not. Start doing. Start talking. Start thinking. And start acting for the better of the community that you're living in. Because I really believe that all of you, every single one who's watching this, all of you have the potential to be a leader.